It's always fun figuring out which games will actually keep playing the sound when it's not tabbed in or not. I have everything I need. Oh. Huh. Ghosts aren't that far off from demons. Not sure if them being in sewers makes them slightly better, but I think that's up for debate. Must be the new girl. Want Sector F? It's yours. Fix the generators and don't let those bitches kill you. Time limit is removed and drone cooldown is greatly reduced. Your drone will save you from death on a 10-second cooldown. The drone is gone and generators die faster. Okay. W. Okay. Oh. I thought it was still like help. Oh. Okay. Low tier shocker. I thought it was like Helltaker where I still had to tap it once. Oh! So I need to see what thing I need. I already have it. So I can do that and the dodge. What do I need? Here. Grab this in case. Here. Come on, bait. Fix the shields. Huh? Next time the shields fail, you'll pay for this. Okay. Word from your boss. Ghosts feed on human emotions. They want your pain, anger, and fear. Without the shield generators, they'd rip you to shreds. They rip us to shreds. If it throws her off, why not? Multiple generators. Got it. So you spawn after the first one. So I'm gonna need to keep those. Oh, different attack. Okay. There's the swing. There's a pound that goes horizontal. That one has to break swing. It goes horizontal and vertical. Okay. Stay here. Did I not? Oh, I didn't pick that up. Okay, so I have to keep those in rotation constantly. That's dangerous. Okay. Are you tired of running? I'll catch you eventually. Pie's filled with pudding. Trying to be menacing and cool and you're ruining it. You know that, right? Cut wire. Of the 9 new girls we got yesterday, you're the only one who's still alive. Keep up the good work. So they all have their... What is that thing? Huh? Okay. Okay, so the intro is low tier splitter. Oh, cool! I like that attack pattern. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, that's I understand. Does that go off after a certain time? No, it goes off after when I go near it. Okay. It's very similar to Justice. I can see it. I was having so much fun. Like it too, didn't you? Always be there in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to stab you in the back. Huh. You'll never believe it, little pup. They just refilled their Denatron supply? It's gonna be a fun week. So she throws knives, and whenever she lands, she also leaves... Let me set this up first. Yeah, so these still take place. That is a different weapon. Can't be this simple. You have to get more dangerous and more... Yeah, there it is. Okay. No, okay. So I can't run by those faster. But I can bait them out. But she only does that twice, and then leaves a trap. I told you she would give you a kiss if you tried to. And you got a box of pudding pies. Nikita. Most of the ghosts used to be tunnel runners just like you. Unfortunately, death took away their memories. Yeah, I was right about this soon. Blowtorch? Okay. So let me grab this first, set that up. That is the blowtorch. Big. Cool. Oh. Okay, so I can't do the thing I was doing before, which is pre-prepping everything. Okay, if I'm too close, then you'll do it there. Oh, okay, there's some that'll... Okay, there's some where I need to have this before it's processed. Got it. Did I not put you in? No, I need 2 pieces. Got it. Okay. So I can't just automatically put those there constantly. Out of juice. How embarrassing. I prefer my food properly baked. I'm sitting in my kitchen when the shield's down, okay? Huh. Thanks for the pudding pies, pup. Where did you get these? Is your mom working in a VIP warehouse or something? Thanks, boss. Okay. Oh. Here. It's over there. But at least there are some lines on the ground. That's bad. Okay. Ooh, nice! Nasty combo. Okay, so it's pre-prepping and then recognizing. Gear. That also needs a gear, so grab, reset that, do this. Bait that. Going off. Gear and one thing that I have right now. Gear first. Check the other gear. Okay. I don't play them much, but I like bullet hells. No, I can't do fire when the shields are out. I'm sure you'd catch it nicely though. Let's find a working premise. Okay. Sorry you've been thrown into this You've been thrown into this pit with us. I've been running the tunnels for 20 years by now, and I can tell you've got talent for this job. Interesting. Oh. Okay, so there's certain routes that I can go sooner than others. That is on a certain rhythm. Got it. Speed trap. He's back. Same pattern as before. That one just broke. I'll take a furnace too. There you are. That just more. Yeah. Same best animation. Cool. Or at least a similar one. So that gives me one. Grab this. I need to remember to go for key pattern. Not key pattern. I'm gonna call that bomb and patterns because that's the easiest way for me to remember. Here. Swipe. Take that out. Take that out. Okay. I need to see what that other one is. That's bad. Bait it. Here. Okay. In the event that I need this, we prep. One of these. One of these. I'm kind of not paying attention to here. Stick around. Yeah, no, the game's actually kind of loud. Let me see how that works. Okay. Only the second most annoying idiot I know. Samora 4, okay. Stay away from the lower levels, pup. Shields barely do anything down there. Dude, that's stuff to the veterans. Yeah. Okay, and that's a new part that I need. Okay. Oh, and I need... Okay. I like this. Pre-prep this. Check what this is, check what that is. One of these. One of these. Two. Hi! I'm just run over there and pre-prep that. Here. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to react too much to those patterns. Samora isn't as bad to react to. I also just have to make sure that I keep the other pieces in rotation. Oh, she's fast now. Here's the normal ones. That still takes a little bit of a cooldown. Okay. 2 coming in. I need 2 of these, so grab one. Recap that. 1, 2. 1, 2. Ooh, hi. Okay. Hog. Just becoming... No. That was my fault for pre-pressing stuff that I didn't. Grab that, switch that, grab that. That took so long. Come on, I still need both of these. That was entirely my fault for pre-pressing stuff that I didn't need yet. I don't even know if this... Ooh, I don't even know if these are on fixed patterns or not. So what I should be doing is just making sure that the stuff is ready in the event that I need it. So grab this, grab that. I need to remember... Dangerous sometimes, but it's worth a little bit of danger to means that I can stay prepped for other things. Fading out, ooh. Fading out her close range fireballs are a lot safer than dealing with the long range ones. Because I also have to factor in when those go off and try to trail where those are going. I need prep that one. Swipe. Fire. Fire. This is the last one. I'm gonna stop. But I'm safe here. Okay. She's supposed to be the deadliest ghost in this sector. There's choice. Oh. Why can't you just take things seriously for once? Hey, I've heard you actually volunteered for the tunnels. Is that true? Huh. 4. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. High tier shocker. Interesting. You're fast! That was 3? I actually stopped paying attention. Interesting. Okay. 2, 3. So also only on the third one. Swoop! Okay, those are separate from your normal attacks. So only... Okay, 2, 3, last one. So for the first 3 coming down, I can keep moving. Switch patterns. I'm running out of time. If I move in a zigzag pattern, I should be more safe. Now I understand why that heal is only on a 10-second cooldown. Not the heal, the second chance one. I messed up. I'm trying to grab the other thing that I forgot. 1, 2. Again on the timer. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, as long as I move in a zigzag pattern, that one's actually not too bad. Interesting. Getting everything ahead of me, so refuse to die. Get good at this. Yula! Wait, Yula? That's your name? Usterka. How did you know that? One day you'll make a mistake and I'll finally kill you. I'll make it rip you apart limb by limb. Where's that little pup from Sector F? We can't afford to lose any more runners this week. Oh! Cool! Default buttons. Cool! There is a little bit of ending lag on it, so you can't just kind of spam it, but it's still a really good movement speed increase. Got that. Need it here. That's my fault. That means I can also fake those out a lot easier. I messed up. You should not have given me a dash in this game. I look away for like 1 second. I can completely fade out her. I didn't see. This one's gonna be close. Dash is emblem too. I needed to run through there. It is unconfirmed if she hits the ghost. At least for right now. I need to make sure that I have stuff on rotation. That's the only reason I lost that time. I also completely lost didn't pay attention to the one that had just went off. I need a gear, I need 2 gears. I'm also messing up because I'm pressing enter when I need to dash. My mind is like conflating, like, okay, enter, do the thing I need to, and then space is also the dash. So I moved by you once in Prime. Okay. Here. Also guess it swapped the first one that I picked up. That was completely my fault. I ran right into that. She has a slight delay on her activation, so I can't run through her as easily. But if I also step over... Oh, there we go. 1. I need a gear. So I can step over these slightly before That's my hubris. I can step again where I need a gear. Okay. I'm looking for a friend of mine. Short pipe, gives away pudding pies. Rings a bell? But didn't manage to off the new girl, if that's what you're thinking. Dr. Strega. Can't you stay put for a single bloody day? What the hell is wrong with her? Okay. Ultra tier scraper. You're fast. Okay, where's my... Ooh. Okay, you're the reason I have to dash. Ooh. Okay. I can... Because even if putting it down to here, it still, like, feels... Well, no, it's a little bit better now. 1, 2. So that first one is a spread. Okay. So I have to spend a lot more time looking... Ooh. Yeah, that first one's a spread shot. Okay. I gotta spend a lot more time looking at those. I have to make a mental note of what I need. 1. I also need the other thing. I need 2 cogs, though. Also do a melee if I get too close. That's an artillery shell. Okay. I messed up. 1 here. Almost. I need another cog. There's also one in the lower left that I need to pay attention to. Cog and one of these. Thankfully I have one of these. Put that there. Swing by. Artillery shells. And there we go. Isn't it Baba Yaga, the legendary tunnel runner? Yaga. She's supposed to be off duty today. Sylvia. For only 2 days each year. Sorry about this, pup. Usually I'm more successful at keeping my ghosts contained in Sector A. Mini-boss? Oh, no. Okay. Ooh. Alright. You detonate after a couple... yeah, you do. You do something after that long. Okay. I got it. 1, 2. The little dogs I have to pay attention to. Okay. I need 1. I need to keep track of when it does those dashes. Because I think it flashes and then it does a long dash, but then it also has short dashes that I'm trying to keep an eye out for. 1. This is evil. Yeah, the flash means a long one if I can also... Yeah, that's the indicator. Got it. Okay. Date it. Two. Another big piece. Big piece and a tier 1. I need 2 big pieces. No, I went the wrong way. I should do the one on the right first. So I need to keep those in constant supply. 1, 2, 3. Do they only... Okay, those only explode when they hit a wall. Got it. I don't understand how I was safe there. Grab. No, I messed up. Yeah, no, I messed up. That's why you break them down into smaller pieces, so that you can recognize what you need to react to. 1, 2, 3. You need to prep this. Grab the big piece over there, and then while that one's finished, and I run back over. I messed up. I thought that was on the other side. 2. You can do those back to back. Good to know. Okay. pieces. Okay, so I can double tap to like preset that. I need the big piece. Small, set. Yeah, it's about keeping the things constantly in rotation. Okay. Double... Okay. Grab that, put that there, put that in there, grab this. I still need... I have to make the mental notes faster. The dash with the invulnerability frames really helps. Setting that. I need to use whatever prep time I do get. Like, I need to use my time in between the generator shutting down to prep for the next set of tools and stuff that I need. I didn't see the little dog. That was my fault. 1, 2... I need to keep a better eye on the dogs, and I either need to set off the skulls sooner, because if I lose track of them after 10 seconds, then that's just like begging to die. I also really need to get a better gauge on how far that dash goes. Which also means I just can't run in a straight line, and I also gotta bait those smaller ones to slam into walls so they're not constantly messing with me. This is about to go off. Yeah, I have to clear out the dogs faster. If I can do that, then that becomes a lot easier. My mistake. 1. There's one on my right. Not the one that I wanted to go off first. Mostly that I will be more harsh on myself than like any viewer will likely be. Looking the wrong way. I think there's a slight second before checking. There's a slight second before checking and when I can put a piece in, which is messing me up. Because I'm thinking, oh, if I run to it and I already have the piece, then it'll automatically put it in, when that is not the case. I made a very bad assumption on that. So I need that piece on the other right. I need to swing by this. There's so much clutter on the bottom. I shouldn't have went south there. Yeah, those attacks are more dangerous on the south side. 1, 2. I need to react better on those. Big piece. I also need to stop thinking that enter is a dash for some reason. Grab that, grab the big piece. Grab that. So I need a big piece over there. Still need a big piece over there. I still need a tier 1 over there. I messed up. I was looking to short term. I'm focusing too much on... I'm focusing too much on the immediate task before me, and I'm not looking at the ones that I should be doing. Like, I'm prioritizing wrong. Upper right. I also should be giving myself a lot more time. I say before immediately mashing to get like those when it's finished. Double piece and then a single tier piece. I dashed too early there. Reset that. Halfway. And I completely messed up. I was at the wrong time. I need to be in control of when those skulls go off, because if I don't, then I'm gonna die by not paying attention to them. That was completely my mistake. I need a big piece. I messed up, maybe? No, I messed up. I don't have enough time to make it over there. I did! I thought I completely ran out of time for that. This was just the first phase. Look, I have the new girl locked inside a jar. Don't you wish to rescue her? You're being used as a bargain chip and lover squirrel. Could you please stop looking happy about it? The jar is shielded somehow. Maybe if I possessed your body, our combined powers would be enough. I spent a lot of time designing my new attack patterns. It's like I was worried about nothing. You can handle it yourself just fine. Oh, I'm not... Ooh. Do I still have my... I do. Oh! Wait, I need to learn how the rules in this dash work. I feel like I move slightly faster. It clears enemies. Okay. So the way I've been using them kind of to dash through, I can use them instead to just attack. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's gonna help with those skull ones a lot more. The dogs I can still dodge, but... Okay, okay. That also means I get to start thinking about it offensively. Also deal with the bull too. Nice. That explosion got me. You just double up. I need to see what you were doing. I also feel... Ooh. I feel slightly faster. I also don't know if it's just... I also don't know if it's... Ooh, it's smiting. I didn't know if it was just my perception, but I didn't know... Okay, yeah, getting hit is a screen clear. Interesting. And when enemies spawn, that's also a hitbox. Got it. So I have to completely clear those zones. Please! 2, 1. I need a big piece. I'm also not looking where the spread attacks go. I need to recognize what's doing those. The zero artillery shots, got it. Okay. The slams will also shoot out projectiles. Good to know. 1, 2, that's a normal piece. That's why the skulls also go off in 4 seconds, because if I just don't immediately deal with them, then they'll detonate. There was a dog I didn't see. Normal piece. Okay, I need to keep an eye out for the middle. The big middle attacks also send out projectiles that I need to pay attention to. I think when the bow dies, it also sends out projectiles, or that was something I wasn't paying attention on. 1, 2... 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, I was right. The bullet does send out projectiles when it's finished, so I need to keep that in mind when I'm attacking it. I need to be proactive about these skulls, though. Even if that second is 0, I still have enough time to grab it. The projectiles are nicking me more than anything else. Yeah. Okay, okay. There. I ran into a dog there. I need to also remember that I can still use my dash defensively, not just offensively. I'm running out of time for that one on the left. Okay. 2 tier 1s. I wasn't looking at a projectile. Swapped that piece before. Prep that. I I need to get better at recognizing when those, when the artillery shells are gonna go off. 1, 2, 3. Because I'm trying to I'm trying to anticipate the pattern, but I'm not properly timing when they go off. Left side first. Small and up. One, two. I was certain I was dead there. 1, 2, 3. 2 tier 1s. 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2. 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2. Tier 2. Easy. That was awesome, but I'll take it from here. You two get some rest. It's just you and me again. Shall we continue or fight it while you apologize for how you've been treating me lately? Shameless attention or like you? Your delusional bullshit stopped being in music 15 years ago. You fought surprisingly well together, didn't you think? What we did back there was pretty cool. I like that, so I wouldn't mind trying again sometime. Nice, and that was just as fast as Helltaker. Wow. For some reason I was expecting it to scroll. Oh. Oh! So this was at least in a prototype until 2020 was in prototype around 2022. Previous game Helltaker basically made itself. It filled me with a false belief that game development is easy and I can effortlessly create anything I want. Awaria was the opposite. The game didn't want to be made and it fought against me every step of the way. I see now that I still have a lot to learn. For a long time I couldn't decide on the setting. Since I automatically gravitate towards my comfort zone of girls in sharp suits, my favorite option was noir. Adventure of GG Ghostcatcher, Exorcist for Hire. However, as the core gameplay started to take shape, I realized that the noir setting didn't fit in the slightest. The design of the common Awaria suits was supposed to imitate bees. I had this idea of a hive tongues maintained by crows with poor expendable worker bees. Later on, I ditched the idea of yellow clothes to create a clear contrast and brightness between the physical and the paranormal. This is really interesting. I clung to the idea of ghosts wearing physical clothes for as long as I could. Ultimately, it didn't survive in gameplay. I needed clear silhouettes for enemies, and it required uniform brightness. I miss those high contrast, bright glowing tears in the bodysuits though. Gee, I wonder why. Are ghost girls still a thing in 2024? They are. Trust me, they are. They're pretty cool in the ancient past of 2021. How can such a tiny game take so long to make? In retrospect, I should have released the game in 2023 with only some more in it. and added new levels and ghosts as free updates. Locking myself in a room for 3 years was not the best of my ideas. That feels like... That feels like an idea that the Helltaker DLC was like setting up. Like that felt like something like the DLC, while it is kind of self-contained, it felt more like a base where it's like, okay, here's something for now and we can continue off of it and expand off of it further down the line as more stuff gets made and more ideas kind of get thrown into the mix. So it's very interesting to hear that that was kind of like the base idea, or at least somewhat of a base idea for this, and then adding the other characters later. So I was wondering why I was seeing so few characters in comparison to Helltaker, which had such a... I don't want to say tighter cast. Because I do like that you spend more time with the different girls here. I really like that. That's a very interesting design choice. Beat more levels on hard mode. Yeah. So then what's the hard mode is that the drone is gone and generators die faster. Okay. I'll give the first few a shot then. Yeah, and that's like that would be a very difficult part. So it seems like I have 10 seconds less. I like the idea of a dev diary as a, I was instantly pressing space to try and dash. I like the idea of a dev diary being the reward for working harder, for like beating the hard modes. I've started to really like dev diaries as rewards. Okay, and they tell you which one you beat. Because that was one thing... Oh, I'm actually glad I get to talk about this then. That was one thing that I really liked about, Fatim Portal? Where, like, one of the very secret endings of it was was just basically a really cool dev diary of like one of the last days of development. But to even do that, you had to go and mess with files in the game. Toby also does that. He does do that a bit. Prep that. So that means in the harder difficulty settings, you're really gonna need to micromanage. Like, it is more beneficial to do something like this. Cut wire 1. Okay. That also means I gotta use my time to clear that out as much as I can. Uh-oh, I messed up. Oh, I messed up. Okay, both are tier 1s. But I need to clear those out. tighter... The tighter time window... The tighter time window on its own is really fun. Because it means you really have to micromanage a lot. Because it also changes how I want to approach dealing with this. Because it changes when... I need to swing around and grab that. Put that there. So I need to use the time when she's away for me to clear those out. And then she'll drop down. Cool. Yeah. And you get the Kiss Ghost girls who want to kill you. Very funny that there's a coincidence with the other one that I wanted to stream tonight. Because I want to see what that other dev diary is, and then I'll switch over to the other game that I wanted to play, since I kinda anticipated this one being very short. Because Helltaker also only took like 30... Like 30 some odd minutes for a playthrough? Hi. Move. Need to dodge. That was too slow. I went north when I should have went south. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a bold claim to make, officer. I got really greedy. That was stupid. The lack of a drone means that you have to play a lot more safe. But if you're also playing safe, you also get a lot less time to adjust. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. Beat that. The triple spread pattern's not too bad. Cutter 2, I just gotta give a lot more time to... What? Far enough? Will you not throw the second one? No, you just delay it. Cool. 1. Those here. Danger! I needed to decide faster, but I ended up going... I wanted to I had to decide faster, but I was like, I could probably squeeze in the repair, but no, I shouldn't have done that. I have until the last second of the generator going for me to repair it. So as long as I do it before then I'm safe. 2. But I also want to keep clearing these out so they don't become a problem later. Very lucky that was a tier 1. That's a tier 2, rotate around. Easy! Just out of curiosity, I want to see how Nikita is. Might be slightly biased. It's a that all? Her being slow actually makes this very... Uh-oh. Actually makes her very dangerous in a different way. Because it means I can't as quickly... Uh-oh. Whew. Okay, yeah. So it is, like, I have... So it's not when it hits 0, I still have 1 second after 0. Got it. I don't know what you could mean. That's a very bold claim to make. You got a warrant? Uh-oh. That was dangerous. That was stupid. You got a warrant for that statement, officer? I shouldn't have ran there. Ooh, that one was bad. I should win. The way I usually deal with projectiles and stuff like that is like if I have to, like not just for this game specifically, but like in general, if there's like a projectile, if there's a projectile in the way of an objective or something that I want to get to, I'll usually try to cut it really close around the projectile to get to that thing. Or, I usually just do the very stupid, dangerous thing like I'm doing right now. That was really stupid. Oh, they teach that in college now? I didn't know. Okay. That was good. Where was the last one I was at? This one. Yeah, the stream froze. It's just that's exactly what happened. When the higher-ups want you gone, they'll excite you to work in the tunnels. Ula Usterka is a rare example of a tunnel runner volunteer who joined the maintenance crew to reunite with her undead friend. Her drone does not appear in the cutscenes because of hard mode and because I'm too lazy to draw it. Sofia Zamora died from electrocution on her first day in the tunnels and came back with shocker-type ghosts. Not much to say about this one. She's a very mean ghost with glasses. Back when she was supposed to be the only ghost in the game, her element was going to be fire, and she summoned minions. Other ghosts ended up inheriting her original abilities. Interesting. After the events of the game, Zamora and Estera became a famous duo, often teaming up against powerful raids. Ghosts feed on human emotions like anger and pain, but they can feed on love as well. Unfortunately, only the most obnoxious people tend to come back as ghosts, and undeath does not make them any more likable. Cute. You get a lot. You get a lot for getting all 13. But then the cutoff is also 12. Wow. So that means you get like... You get 12 for doing all the missions. But then I assume these ones are also endings for the other ghosts. Cool. Yeah. Cool. And those hard modes are actually pretty fun. With a slight bias towards bullet hells, but that's my own prerogative. Okay. So let me switch. I don't know why I'm not getting notification sounds, even though I turned those on. Did I actually turn those on, though? I could have sworn I had turned those on. Whatever. Thank you for following, Hydra. Let me switch to the other game that I wanted to play, since I expected this one to be short anyway. That was really fun. I hope... How do I word this? I don't want to say, like, oh, I just generally hope for more, because, like, I said that after I played the original Helltaker, and I got more. And that was really, really hard. I'm gonna have to... Please work. There it is. Last time I played this was after Shadows of the Dam. That would have been at the end of October? No. I played that after October because I had a slew of games then. That would have been after November. And I did one route on my own. I did one route on my own before all of this. I have no idea what you mean, officer. Then I did the other one on a stream. And I know the least about this other one. Take care and have fun. I was about to say have fun cooking. Well, no. People like cooking. There it is. But also make sure you treat that dog well. I also almost forgot again to start reading this. But I have a feeling I'm going to read it for a fourth time anyway. I don't think you have. Please do. There's nothing to light your way save for the moon's milky glow, but its rays cannot reach you, not properly. The trees which surround you jutting out of the earth like eerie monuments to a foreign god are blotting out most of the light. Take care. You cannot see where you are going. Even if you had commenced your flight at a more sensible hour, however, with the light of the sun to aid you, it would be of little use. You do not know where you are going. You have no map, no route, no plan. Route and route are one of those words where I'll keep switching how I pronounce it, mostly because I can't decide on which one is the proper pronunciation, because I feel like it is the same. I feel like the spelling of the word doesn't change, but pronunciation of it changes based... I feel like pronunciation of it changes based off of what you are saying or how you're speaking. Like, Route 42 would make sense if you're driving, but then like, oh, I took a route around the mountains. Like that, like it's that, or that's just me being stupid about language. You're running like a frightened animal, anxious and nervy, with no destination in mind. You have no desire as you run save to escape. You cannot let yourself be caught. If that were to happen, you are certain that you would be ruined. You have no choice, therefore, but to keep going, on and on and on, though your feet are screaming at you for mercy. You have no idea how long you have been running. Time has begun to blend together. It has lost all meaning. Something sharp snags at the hem of your skirt, but you don't have the luxury to pause and examine what has happened. Instead, you tug. The skirt tears, the sound splitting through the forest, and you stumble forwards with a shocked gasp. I'm playing way too much D&D. You are free, but at what cost? Your skirt has been irrevocably damaged. It might be too late to worry about such trivial matters now, though. If you do not start running again, and soon she will catch you, then your life will be over. You do not know if she is still following you, but you do not want to risk looking over your shoulder. If you were to see her silhouetted beneath the tree, looking at you with that sickly sweet smile which once ensnared you, you would lose what little nerve you possess. Your legs would lock up and your blood would freeze in your veins. Then you would crumple. You would fall, but you would not hit the ground. She would be there to catch you. Did she not promise, when you made that contract, that you would never be alone? You would like to take back that silly wish of yours, but it's too late for that. It is too late for a lot of things. All you can do is run. You run and run and run while icy fog swirls around your feet. It is cold enough to sap the heat from your body and you shudder from it. It feels as though you are drowning. It feels as though you are being buried alive. Your knees and shins, meanwhile, are bleeding. You can endure much more of this, but if you value your own life, you must. You run and you run and you run until at long last you reach a fork in the road. There are 3 paths which split off through the forest. Well, 4, if you count the path down which you came. You cannot exactly double back on yourself, though, not when you have put so much effort into running forwards. You can only press on. The 3 paths are signposted, which is something of a strange sight given you are so deep in the forest. Dark though it may be, you have grown accustomed to the shadows. You can just about pick out the writings on this old, dilapidated signpost, curved and slanted though it is. Your fate, if you will forgive me for sounding cliché, is in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? Village was the groundskeeper. She was my first pick. Castle was the last time I streamed this. Shore is what I know of and have seen the least about. So you want to go to the shore? Good idea. What will you discover there, I wonder? This night is far from over and there are any number of adventures still awaiting you. I hope that you have prepared yourself in advance, and I do hope, for your sake, that you have learned how to swim. I have a sneaking suspicion that this skill might come in handy. I don't know what you're talking about. You follow the path which leads to the shore, supporting yourself on weary, aching limbs which feel ready to snap at the knee beneath the burden of your weight. You're a little more than a wisp of a girl, but you have been running for so very long and your feet are so very numb you feel like a great lumbering thing. You need to lie down, and quickly. You only hope as you continue to run that you will find a means to escape your current predicament by the shore. You do not know what awaits you, but you have visions of a harbor extending out to the horizon, cradling a fleet of white-sailed fishing vessels. Surely there will be a kindly fisherman who will be willing to take you far, far away on his boat, to a place where your pursuer will not be able to find you? You can imagine, too, the face of this kindly fisherman, a face you have lifted from the fairy tales you read in abundance as a small child. He will have a thick, bushy eyebrows and a dark brown beard streaked through with gray. He will look intimidating at a glance, but he will be fiercely protective of you, just like a father. You do not know what fathers are supposed to be like. You are only imagining. It is your imagination, however, which grants you the strength needed to keep going. You run to the shore. It takes some time before you finally emerge from the woods, but finally you do it. How much time, you ask? I cannot answer that. Did I not say that time had begun to lose all its meaning? The forest is behind you now, at least, and all the awful nightmares that lurk within it. It is still cold, though, and still foggy. It is still dark, too. The sun has yet to rise. You can see the moon more clearly now as it hangs above your head, round as any pearl or orb or crystal ball. The moonlight shines down upon vertiginous cliffs. I don't think I've ever seen that word either. Wow. Which plummet sharply downward to an array of sharp, spiky rocks below. You felt, upon escaping the woods, a degree of hope, but the sight of these weather-blasted cliffs gives you pause. You inhale, then you frown. Now what are you to do? You did not think this plan of yours through very well. Not that you had much in the way of a plan in the first place. There's a little in the way of civilization here. The cliffs are far from the village. How far, you don't know, and you cannot see any houses. Where exactly will you rest your weary head, and what of your weary legs? Fitfully you look around. There's nobody to your east, nor is there anybody to your west. There's no point in looking south. That is the way you came. And when you look to the north, the world falls away from you. The cliffs are too steep to scale, and it is too dark. Naturally, there is not a soul here to help you. You are on your own. You feel so overwhelmed you could very well cry. You do not cry, however. You know that tears have never helped anyone. You got yourself into this mess. Now you need to get yourself out of it. It is with this thought in mind that you inhale a lungful of salty oceanic air. Then you begin your exploration in earnest. You keep away from the edges of the cliffs, afraid that you may slip and take a sudden unfortunate tumble into the abyss below. You are not as attached to your mortal body as some humans are, but you do not want to die. You still care for yourself, if only a little. And it was this sense of self-preservation which compels you onward. You glance this way and that, depressing the tall grass beneath your shoes as you search for a place of shelter. Surely there must be somewhere. You cannot see any likely-looking settlements, but what is that over yonder? Could that be a roof? You hurry onwards, hope budding anew in your heart, until at long last you reach your destination. There is a house after all, out here in the wilds, though it doesn't, at a glance, look very welcoming. The solitary house that you have discovered, not so far from the cliffs, is rather unremarkable. It is so small and squat, you cannot imagine it contains within it more than one floor. You cannot even imagine that it contains much more than one room. Though it is dark, it is not dark enough to mask the cottage has something of a slant to it. It is leaning listlessly to one side like a drunken sailor. The thatched roof, meanwhile, which tops this dwelling, has certainly seen better days. There's a hole in the thatch. There are several holes, in fact, and parts of it look particularly bare, almost bald. This is rather concerning. Should it rain, you will not be properly protected from the elements. really stay the night in such a place? You have some misgivings. But do your misgivings matter, really, when there is nowhere else to go? It is not as though you have any other options. It is with a sense of defeat, therefore, that you approach the cottage, which sticks out of the earth like a tombstone. Part of you wants to turn back, but you know that would be foolish. The windows of the cottage are dark. That does not necessarily mean it is empty. It is rather late at night, after all. Whoever lives here, if indeed anybody does live here, might be asleep. You cannot imagine the owners of this cottage will appreciate being aroused so very late at night. You cannot let yourself worry too much about these small details, however. Otherwise, you will never get anywhere. You swallow. The taste of salty sea breeze is pungent in the back of your nostrils. Then you rap your knuckles of your right fist on the door. You rap quietly at first, though you do not hear any resultant shuffling inside the cottage. Perhaps you do not use enough strength. Emboldened, you rap your knuckles on the door for a second time, more loudly this time. You wait a few moments, but still you cannot hear anything. Perhaps the cottage is unoccupied after all. You knock for a third time, then wait. The third time is, as they say, the charm. But for all that, your knocking goes unanswered. Well, nobody can say that you didn't try. More intrigued now than anxious, your fingers find a handle of the door. You pull it down. To your surprise, it yields easily. The door swings back for you, as if by magic. It feels almost as if it was preordained. You step foot inside the cottage, which is very dark, and glance around. It is hard to see, given the lateness of the hour, but the cottage's interior is about as inspiring as its exterior, which is to say not very. It is every bit as small and as cramped as you fancied when you observed it from the outside. There are a few cupboards which line the walls, a wood fire which has since been extinguished, a straw pallet on the floor which must function as a bed. Your search is unsuccessful, however, when it comes to trying to locate other humans. You cannot find another soul. Surely that is to your benefit, though. If nobody else lives here, then you might as well make yourself at home. Or as at home as one can be, I suppose, in a small, cramped cottage such as this, with holes in the roof. You close the door behind you, then approach the straw pallet. All of a sudden, you feel incredibly weary. The tiredness that assails your limbs is absolute, so intense it overcomes the last of your concerns. You settle down upon the straw pallet, yawning as you do. It is not comfortable, but being able to lie down eases some of your aches and pains. Lying down, even on an uncomfortable makeshift bed such as this one, is better than standing. It is far, far better than running. Your eyelids fall shut, your lashes melting together. And soothed by the sounds of the wind and the distant rolling of the waves, you fall asleep. Then you begin to dream. It is not uncommon, of course, to dream. The best and the worst of us do it. From queens in their castles to peasants sleeping in the straws. Why, who is to say that that all you have observed tonight has not, in a sense, been a dream of its own? Would that make your nighttime fancies, then, a dream inside a dream? Perhaps our dreams are empty, hollow things stacked inside one another, like little wooden dolls. Is that not a whimsical thought? How very droll. Your dreams, however, cannot be called whimsical, and neither are they particularly droll. They are not pure fabrications, as dreams sometimes are, fleeting fancies which can never come to pass. Your dreams are of a rather more pernicious sort. In your dreams, you are at the conservatory, with your red hair tied back into two prim, proper braids. You are walking through the courtyard, clutching your books to your chest as you make your way to the library. Your head is bowed as to not look at the faces of your passing classmates. You do not want to meet their eyes. These girls, with their sensible braids and their sensible shoes, are merciless. You hunch your shoulders together in this dream of yours so as not to draw their attention, but alas, it is not enough. You stumble, clumsy thing that you are, and fall, and, just like that, all eyes are upon you. They are staring at you. They are laughing at you. You lay there on the ground by the fountain, your books scattered and your skirt in a woeful state of disarray. Your knees hurt. Is it bleeding? You examine your injured leg, trying not to cry, and as this transpires, you hear a voice. One of your classmates is calling out to you. She has acknowledged you. You look up shyly, tears beating in your eyes, at the girl taller than you, and prettier, and much more refined. She extends her hand towards you. Does she mean to help you? It cannot hurt to try, can it? Hesitantly, you reach out to accept her offering aid. Her fingers curl around yours tightly, perhaps too tightly. Her nails dig into your skin. It hurts. Deftly, the girl pulls you to your feet. Your legs feel weak from your fall, and your knee is still aching, still bleeding. You stumble, feeling out of sorts, but you are not afforded much of an opportunity to gather your bearings. The girl's hands are on your shoulders. She is laughing at you. Then she is pushing you. The sound of the fountain and the running water which drums against its basin is, all of a sudden, very loud. It is overwhelming. It surrounds you. Then it engulfs you. It is as cold as ice. You cannot breathe. The rushing of the water continues, echoing in your eardrums over and over, and then, no. You do not want to remember this. What good will it do? It is in the past, where the past ought to remain. You are never going to go back, not even in your dreams. It is this determination which forces you back into the world of the waking with a start. You gasp like a fish as you sit up tight, your eyes unnaturally wide. You feel wearied from the lack of sleep, and with half-lidded eyes you glance about. It is still dark inside your cottage, the sky visible from beyond the window splashed still with stars. How long were you asleep? You are not sure. Your dream is very detailed. It really did feel that you had been transported into a different time, into a different place. When you inhale, you can taste the rank fotid water in your mouth? Interesting. Tentatively, you pat yourself down, your fingers trailing against the front of your uniform. So vivid was your dream, you half expected to find that your clothes are damp. This is not the case, however. You are, in fact, perfectly dry. Well, now what? Now what are you to do? Will you go back to sleep? That sounds like the best option available to you. You're very tired, but your senses feel too overwrought all of a sudden for sleep. You do not think you could bear it. On unsteady legs, you rise to your feet, then stand by the window. You look out to the starry sky and to the pitted moon which hangs amongst them, and you frown. You can hear the wind outdoors howling like an injured animal, and more softly the ebb and flow of the waves as they meet the cliffs. But that is not all. What is that sound? Why, it is almost like singing. The voice is far away enough that you cannot pick out any individual words, nor even the individual syllables, but there is a haunting quality to it all. The singer, whoever they are, possesses quite the pretty voice, high and clear like a bell. The song is a melancholy one, which stirs your heart. Curiosity takes root inside you, as it did during that fateful day you found the book in the library. Logically, you know you should not go outdoors to seek the source of that singing, but emotionally, that is another matter altogether. You really should have learnt your lesson by now. You should know better than to go sticking your nose into business which does not concern you. But naughty little girls such as you never do learn. You cross the old fisherman's cottage as though in a dream, then reach out for the handle of the door. The handle depresses easily enough beneath your grasping fingers, and the door opens with a click. The rest of the world yawns before you, framed in the doorway, all of it bathed in moonlight. You thought it was cold inside the old cottage, but it was colder still now the door is open. An unpleasant wind rushes forth to meet you, knifing mercilessly through the fabric of your uniform. You look across the cold, inhospitable landscape, your fingers clenched into fists at your sides. Then you step out into the unknown. You canvass the cliff face, led by nothing more than the luxurious singing. So haunting and ethereal as that is his voice. As it hangs on the breeze, it would be enough to send 1,000 ships off to war. You keep walking into the night, until you reach the very edge of the cliffs, where they drop downwards into empty air. You ought not to go any further, but the voice has yet to cease. You can still hear it echoing inside your head. It compels you to act. You look down at the shore, which seems like a dizzying distance away, then out to the ocean, which is breaking against the scattered rocks below. Your eyes narrow with determination. Then you take a step towards the cliff. These cliffs are steep and the rocks below them are sharp. You can see them glinting in the darkness, their tips jagged like the teeth of hungry predators. The cold wind blows, rocking your hair, and you shudder from it. Your shoes were not built for scaling cliffs, and your heels did not have much in the way of purchase, particularly not when the cliffs are so steep. Clinging to the cliffs is no small feat, yet you are determined to ease yourself down onto the shore, in one piece, preferably. The wind is so powerful it feels as though there is something deliberately malicious to it. You wonder, during your descent, if it means to knock you off your perch on purpose, to cast you down to the rocks below. Well, if that is what it wants, then you refuse to give it the satisfaction. You can be awfully stubborn at times, and now is one of them. You continue to climb. How long have you been at it now? Until at long last your feet meet the shoreline below. You have made it, and you do not sustain too many injuries. Your palms are throbbing, yes, after gripping those rocks, and you might have a few cuts, but your wounds are of shallow and superficial sort. Things could have been worse. You flex your fingers. They are uncomfortably numb and cold alongside it. Your skin is prickling, but at least you can still feel discomfort. At least it is still attached to your bones, where it ought to be. Your vital organs concealed within the hollow cavity of your body. You have a lot to be thankful for. This night has, by and large, been quite successful. There are no longer any obstacles between you and the mysterious voice which lulled you outdoors. Now you must find them. You set off down the shore on the haunt of the singing voice which has captivated you so. You sidestep sharp, jagged rocks which jut out of the sands like teeth. The rocks which cannot be circumnavigated, meanwhile, you clamber over. All the while, the sounds of the sea mingles with that of the singing. It provides an ethereal, haunting backdrop to your exploration, one which further adds to the surreality of your moonlight stroll. The waves lap against the shore, then recede shyly, pushed and pulled by the bleached white moon which hangs overhead. The oceans that you have seen in your library books were all blue as sapphires, but this ocean is different. It is so late at night, it looks black instead. The The undulating surface of the water reminds you of your mirror, though its depths are even deeper and much more mysterious. A sense of foreboding settles upon you, but you try to squash it. You will not let yourself be afraid. You round a corner, your feet unsteady in their sensible brown shoes, and then, at long last, you see her. There's a woman sitting up on a rock out in the ocean. The woman's eyes are closed and her lips are parted, her expression soulful. She is singing. Her hair, which is fair, flutters around her face like a shroud, which adds to her otherworldly aura. Her eyes might be closed, but her lashes are long and luxuriant like a doll's. Her lips, meanwhile, which are parted in song, are soft like the freshly plucked petals of a flower. Her face is perfect, as her proportions. Her neck is tall and slender like the stem of a flower. As for the lower half of her body, meanwhile, well, it is nothing like any you have seen before. It is here and here alone that the woman betrays your narrow human definitions of beauty, for her legs are non-existent. Rather than two awkward appendages, this woman has, instead, the sleek, shimmering tail of a fish. Is she not, then, a human? She cannot be. Not with a tail like that. This unusual sight makes you gasp, and quite audibly at that. You do not mean to be rude, but you cannot help yourself. Humans tend to react poorly to things they do not understand. At least you do not scream. That would be even ruder. Those eyes are piercing. Oh my. You meant to observe the mermaid from a distance, but it would appear that your shocked gasp was loud enough to attract her attention. The fish-tailed vision sitting upon the rock is looking at you. Her gaze is so piercing, it feels almost as if she's looking through you. Your heart seems to stop inside your chest, as if by some manner of magical spell. You thought the mermaid pretty when you first observed her, sitting on the outcrop of the rock, her face turned in profile. Now she's looking at you, however. You can see that you were mistaken. She is not just pretty. She's beautiful. So much so, it is almost unnerving. She looks as though she has stepped out of the pages of a picture book. I will not acknowledge that claim. She is simply too perfect to belong to this world. Perhaps she has some kind of vision, a waking dream, a hallucination. But no, she has none of those things. Her tail might be an impossible thing, but its scales look slick and wet regardless, like those of any fish one might find at the market. These scales are iridescent and, bathed beneath the light of the moon, they seem to glow. The sight of her rather takes her breath away. You look at the mermaid. She looks back at you. You prepare yourself, expecting some sort of altercation. But the surprise soon fades from the mermaid's face. her lips, which were once pursed in a frown, now shift upwards. She is smiling. Then she says in a refined sort of voice, My, it really is good to see a human again, particularly a human girl. I was beginning to fear that your kind had all disappeared, and I would no longer have anybody left to tell me of the world about the waters. My, this is quite the effusive greeting. The mermaid's introductory speech is positively brimming with excitement of a sweet, girlish variety. She is rather more amicable than the fine polish of her syllables would make one suggest. You might be a well-bred lady yourself with an accent to match, but you cannot help but feel overwhelmed. Anxiously, you observe the mermaid, and you ask her what she means. What happened? As to that, I'm afraid I cannot say. I have been sitting on these rocks and singing for many, many nights, but nobody has come to see me. There have been no lovely humans for me to play with. I was beginning to wonder whether your kind had disappeared altogether. I feared some manner of calamity had occurred while I was slumbering beneath the water's surface, and your kind had been eradicated. You shudder, then reassure the mermaid to the contrary. You do not know about the humans that she used to speak with, but you, at least, have not been eradicated. You are still here. Yes, well, I can see that. The mermaid answers with a light laugh. It is a relief. It is really a relief. My fellow merpeople who live beneath the water told me not to worry so much, but I could not help myself. I have always been fond of you humans. It was rather sobering sitting here night after night all on my own. It gets so lonely here. Now that is an interesting turn of phrase. It catches inside your head like a burr. Have you heard it before? So, dear human, did you say that you were unfamiliar with these parts? Hesitantly, you examine the mermaid. Thoughtlessly though you might be, at times you are not so very self-centered that you cannot detect the note of longing in the mermaid's voice. It is evident as she looks at you that she is hoping for a particular answer to her query. This answer, alas, is not one that you can furnish her with. You do not want to lie to her. It is after some hesitation, therefore, that you reaffirm your earlier words, though this time you embellish them. You tell the mermaid that you are a traveler from a far-off land, one which is very dissimilar from this one. It is not a complete fabrication. You tell her that you have only just arrived by the shore, and you are unfamiliar both with your immediate surroundings and those further afield. If there is a village nearby, then you have never set foot in it. You do not know what this village is like, nor how many inhabitants it boasts. You do not know if a calamity, as the mermaid girl grimly supposed, has struck this land. But if she fears all the humans within the immediate vicinity have been laid low by some mysterious malady, then she needn't worry overtly on that score. You are still alive. You are not, you wonder, enough to satisfy her curiosity with the human realm? Yes, that is true. You are here. I am grateful, naturally, for your company, although, wistfully the mermaid sighs. I was rather hoping you might be able to bring me some news of the nearby village and of its inhabitants. This makes you wonder. Was there a particular person from the village she was close to? So you were able to work out that much. So you were able to work that much out. The mermaid answers with a small smile. You're an intelligent one, aren't you? Your past professors would beg to differ on that score. You were always awful when it came to academics, the mathematics in particular. You could never get your head around You could never get your head around all of those numbers. All of the numbers. I promise I can read. Your stern, stony-faced maths professor used to despair in you. Your stern, stony-faced math professors used to despair in you. But she is not here. None of them are here. It is just you now, and a mermaid, and she does not need to know about your dismal academic record. You allow yourself a small smile, touched by her compliment, and tell her that it was nothing more than a lucky guess. For a guess, it was remarkably accurate. You were quite right. I did have a close friend from the nearby village. She was very dear to me. Internally, you congratulate yourself on this piece of detective work. How very clever you are. There are many humans in this world, of that I know. The human who spoke with me, however, was special. She was my human. You do not fail to catch the possessive note in the mermaid's voice. And I cherished her dearly. She would come to me on my rock late at night, when she was finished with her chores and we would talk. I asked her a good number of questions about the human realm and about her customs. I fear my endless inquiries must have been rather tedious, but she was always happy to indulge me. She never once scorned me with my ignorance, and neither did she make me feel like a fool. She always made time for me, no matter how many demands she had on her time. She was a farmer's daughter, and was often busy from dawn until dusk, threshing hay and taking the animals out to pasture. I think it's lighting. Like a refracting of the light. She told me of her work, and I marveled at her. Slender though she was, she possessed a truly tremendous amount of strength. I, who have lived in the ocean all my life, cannot countenance working as hard as she did, but she bore her burdens without complaining. She was not the prettiest human who has walked the earth, but that mattered not to me. Her conversation was engaging, and I knew, through our continued encounters, that she meant no ill will. She did not have a single drop of malice in her heart. The wistful manner in which the mermaid speaks of her friend makes you feel, for brief moments, the flicker of some ugly, primordial emotion. Could it be jealousy? It is painful, isn't it, to hear others wax poetic about those they held dear, particularly when you yourself have never been regarded in so intimate a manner. You have for many, many years been woefully alone. But you are not alone now. You are with the mermaid, and she is with you. And though she might prefer to be in the company of an industrious farmhand, the farmhand is not here. Where did she go? Oh, if only I knew. She quite simply disappeared one day, almost as if she had been whisked away by a wicked spirit. That seems like quite the anticlimactic ending for such a close relationship. Did the farmhand not tell her a companion beforehand that she might one day disappear? No, she did not. Nothing of the sort happened. It was all very sudden. So, you ask, feeling affronted upon the mermaid's behalf, did she not give you any warning? Not a single one. And when, you ask, did she disappear? I do not know, in truth. Time is a strange concept to beings such as myself, particularly as it seems to ebb and flow differently both above
above and below the surface. You humans have a strange compulsion to pin down and to place labels upon everything. You have names for your seasons, and for your months, and even for your days of the week. It is all very precise. We merfolk, however, do not bother with such affairs. Perhaps because we live for so much longer than you humans do. We have no need to obsessively document our days, not when we have so many of them at our disposal. This curious remark catches your attention. How long exactly do mermaids live for? The mermaid does not look much older than you do, but you cannot help but wonder. My, nosy, aren't we? The mermaid asks, and she laughs. A soft twinkling sound like that of a bell, which makes you blush. Were you being nosy? Perhaps you were. You've always had a thirst for knowledge, not of the dry, dusty academic variety, but of stories peopled with strange persons. Literature was the only subject you were ever any good at. Again, it is hard for me to quantify, but to put it in terms of human like you can understand. I suppose we mermaids can live for centuries. Centuries? That is quite a surprise. Perhaps it shouldn't be. You have been subjected to any number of surprises tonight. What is one more to add to the pile? I have not been waiting quite that long, however, for my friend to return to me. I think it has been but a few seasons. It might not sound like much, but never before have I been so aware of the passage of time. I have experienced any number of wants during my life, but I have never wanted anything quite as badly as I wanted to see her. I wish she would sit with me, and she would talk to me just one more time. But perhaps I'm asking for an impossibility. I've been waiting for long enough now to presume that she will not be returning to me. I fear that something must have happened to her, or to her family, or perhaps to her whole village. You can hear the worry throbbing in the mermaid's voice, so potent that, for a few moments, you swear you could feel the depths of her sorrow within your own breast. Her sadness over this girl is so deep, darkening, almost fathomless. You cannot let yourself indulge in it for too long. Otherwise, you fear you might drown in it. Ruefully, you tell the mermaid once more that you cannot help her. You're only a traveler, after all. What do you know of a single insignificant farmhand in a nearby village? Yes, I thought you might say that. It is quite unfortunate, but... oh well. I ought not to reflect upon all that I am missing. That would be churlish of me. It would not be fair to you either. You did not approach me. You did not approach me, I am sure, with the hope of hearing about all of my woes. I should be grateful instead for all it is that I do have. I still have my long, long life, which stretches before me like a golden cord. And of course, I have you now. Does she? Do I not? I ought to go soon, before my absence is noticed. But will you not come and visit me again tomorrow night? I think I would like that. I've always enjoyed speaking to humans. You make me feel less alone. You cannot help but feel, as the mermaid observes you with those enchanting eyes of hers, that she does not truly wish to speak to you for your sake. She wants to use you instead as a substitute for the farmhand that she has been missing so ardently, so very ardently. The thought stings, though you really ought to be used to it. Still, to be held in lower esteem than a farmhand of all things, it makes your self-esteem sting. You try not to let the mermaid notice this, though. The woes of your past are not her fault. much as the wills of her past are not yours. It is silly, in any case, to be jealous of a girl who might very well be dead. That is what you tell yourself. It is the only way to prop up your bruised sense of self-worth. You would, you tell the mermaid, after a pause, like to see her again. You would like that very much. Oh, thank you. I've been feeling very gloomy for quite some time, but seeing you has invigorated me. Finally, it feels as though I can smile again. Did she not smile, you wonder, after her friend disappeared? I did not, no. I did not have the heart. Without her, the world seemed very dull and drab. Your company has cheered me immensely. This is why I like humans so much. You are not callous and unfeeling like the merfolk who live beneath the water's surface. You are much kinder than they are. Oh, if only she knew. If the mermaid was aware, I wonder, of how petty you are, and how jealous, would she still care for you? Well, that is neither here nor there. You agree to meet with the mermaid come sundown the following night, then make your slow, stumbling way back up the cliffs, then to the cottage of your purloined as your own. Once indoors, you settle down upon your pallet, and then you close your eyes. The sighing of the wind outside and the distant rolling of the waves against the rocks do not disturb you. You feel after your midnight encounter of a marish kind, quite at ease, perhaps prematurely so. What happened to the icy fear which prompted your frenetic flight through this forest? Where has all that gone? Do you not think you are being a bit complacent? No? Oh well, you will. Okay, I need a drink. It is important. It is important to keep drinking water when you're reading so much. Or else your throat gets really dry. And it's been wow. I keep forgetting how much I'll just like kind of keep reading even when I feel my throat like drying up. Though I suppose that's more the penalty of me reading inside my head a lot more. Not exactly like I get a lot of opportunities to read aloud. Okay. I got my way. Okay. The following morning, when it arrives, is cloudy and overcast. It is not a particularly pleasant morning, but at least it is not raining. That is a small consolation. You rise from your straw pallet, stretching, and then glance about the interior of the fisherman's cottage. It looked dilapidated last night, but much of it was obscured by the shadows, but it looks even more so when subjected to the morning's light. The cottage's interior has a distinct, disquieting appearance of having been abandoned in a hurry. There is a broken pottery strewn about the ground, and a singular wooden chair, which once must have stood by a single wooden table, is lying on the ground. The doors of the cupboards, meanwhile, are ajar, the shelves within depressingly bare. A quick search reveals a handful of edibles, but there's precious little to be getting on with. If you wish to live here comfortably, you'll have to look into foraging. You ate very little last night, and your stomach is empty. It was the malcontented rumblings of your stomach, in actual fact, which roused you from your slumber. but your body seems to be very far away indeed, much like the grey clouds which choke the sky. You are not thinking of your own physical discomforts. You are dwelling, instead, upon the events of the night prior. You cannot help but think of the mermaid. Did you truly meet an aquatic maiden last night during your nightly stroll when you could not sleep? It sounds unreal, especially now that the sun has risen and the shadows from the night prior have dispersed. You cannot quite believe it. It must have been a dream. But why then can you recall it so very clearly? You help yourself to the scant food and drink available to you, all the while thinking of your next course of action. Now what are you to do? You plan, of course, to return to the shore come nightfall, so that you might once again see the mermaid, but the night will not arrive for quite some time. You need to find some means of keeping yourself occupied until then. Sometimes a nightly stroll on the beach is a nice, pleasant thing. The unsurprising interior of the cottage does not the uninspiring interior of the cottage does not furnish you with any particular ideas, so you decide to go for a walk. Your soul still ache after your excursions last night, but if you go slowly, you ought to be alright. That's what you hope, at least. You do not want to spend much longer than you have to do in the fisherman's cottage, no matter how cold it might be outdoors. It almost as cold inside as it is out, and in any case, the cottage is far too small. You leave the cottage behind you and set off. You do not know where exactly you are going, but you suppose it does not matter overly much. You do not have any particular destination in mind. Your meanderings lead you to the cliffs, which are steep and sharp. The drop to the shore is a perilous one, so much so that you have to wonder at how you're able to descend the cliffs the night prior to meet the mermaid. You were rather more determined than you've ever realized, though I, of course, could have told you that much. You're surprisingly capricious for such a small, slender human. You walk along the side of the cliffs, keeping a sensible distance away from the drop to the shore. You might have survived last night's excitement unscathed, but you do not fancy trying your luck. It would be so like you, really, to avoid a drop to your death in the darkness, only to stumble during the morning's light and take an irreversible tumble. Your fortunes haven't ever been the fairest. Your meanderings along the cliff reveal to you all manner of curious flora. You thought the night prior that the cliffs were weather blasted, but you can see now that your assumptions were incorrect. There are flowers here, very warm and bright like the sun's light during the summertime. Or you think, with a flush of pleasure, that fair hair of the mermaid whom you were certain you spoke to last night. These flowers are so very like her hair, it is uncanny. You step towards the flowers, drawn towards them, and sink down to your knees. The tall grass brushes your ankles like a caress. The morning's dew wetting your skirt. Your clothes are getting damp, as are your legs, but you care not for this minor discomfort. You have just had an idea. Why not make a gift for your new friend? You are sure that she would appreciate it, would she not? She told you in a voice which was deep with dolor that she had been feeling very lonely. You want to see her again, and when you next see her, you would like to make her smile. It is with this thought in mind that you begin to pick the flowers which are growing upon the cliffside. These flowers do not have any thorns, and their delicate stems snap easily enough between your fingers. You take care when plucking these flowers to leave a substantial amount of stem intact. You will need these stems so that you might twine the flowers together. You mean to make your mermaid item, something she will be able to wear in her hair. This tiara is certain to suit her. She is so pretty, anything would suit her. You continue to work, slow and steadfast as the weak sun shines. It takes time, but you are eventually able to fashion something you are satisfied with. You only hope the mermaid will feel similarly, if indeed she really does exist. Carefully, you pocket your makeshift item, then decide to forage for some food. You discover during your search some fruit trees whose sweet burdens are enough to fortify your spirits, for the present at least. It is fortunate, really, that you are so excited about your moonlight rendezvous with the mermaid. If you are less focused upon the future, you dwelt more in the immediate present, you might have more of an appetite. The emptiness in your stomach assuaged, you return to the cottage, where you mean to wait for the setting of the sun. There is very little to do, you soon discover, in the cottage other than checking the cupboards and sweeping the floor. Occupations which both feel depressingly pointless. There are no books to read either, with which you might pass your idle hours. You do, however, busy yourself with trying to light a fire, so that you might ward off the cold. The time that is horribly slow in passing, in part because you have precious little to do, but also because you cannot stop thinking of the mermaid. Will she really return to the shore as she said she would? Can you truly trust her? Oh, you hope that you can. If she were not present at your designated meeting place, you'd think that you would die from disappointment. The seconds continue to trickle by, unchecked by any hourglass, and as they do, the sun sinks beneath the horizon. Part of you worries, however, that it might still be too early to search for the mermaid. Will she be there yet? You sit there, your stomach tied up in anxious knots, and as you listen to the wind which buffets your window, you hear it. The sound is faint, but you recall it from the night before. There is a single, solitary voice outdoors, tempest-tossed amidst the rolling waves. The voice is a high, clear one, silvery, if indeed voices can have colors, like a finely polished dinner plate in a noble woman's home. The voice belongs, of course, to the mermaid. Who else do you know with a voice as angelic as that? Relief begins to bubble inside you, a relief so potent you feel dizzy from it. She did not abandon you after all. Why, you wonder, did you ever think she would? She said that she wanted to see you. Did you think that a mere nicety? Buoyed, as if by a gentle breeze, she hurried to the door. With trembling fingers, they are trembling, I presume, from excitement rather than fear. You seize the handle and turn it. Then you step out into the dark, inky night. You walk towards the cliffs, as you did the night prior, beneath the cover of the inky blue sky, the wind mourning fitfully with every step you take. Your soul still aches from your expedition a day prior, but you are able to ignore this discomfort. It seems irrelevant, really, when compared to the prospects of once again meeting the mermaid. You have known her for only one night, yet she has come to mean more to you than your own well-being. You would do anything for the mermaid if she asked it. Well, almost anything. You hurry down the sharp incline of the cliffs to the shore, almost stumbling in your scuffed brown shoes, which really were not built with rock climbing in mind. So frenetic are you in your attempts to once again make the mermaid's acquaintance. You very nearly fall. It is a good thing that you still have enough sense about you to regain your footing. Otherwise, this tale would come to a premature ending. Eventually, you make your way onto the shore, then approach the jagged outcrop of rock where you last saw the mermaid. Like the night prior, the mermaid is perched upon the rocks, her fair hair strewn about her shoulders. When she sees you from across the shore, she ceases her singing, and her eyes light up. Or at least they seem to. So you have returned to me, my hero, the mermaid says, and then lightly she giggles. Or perhaps should I say my heroine. Her praise makes you blush. You do not feel worthy of it. Nobody has ever called you a heroine before. You do not even think of yourself as a heroine. If a story were made about you, we would rather think you would be a supporting character, one without her own voice. You are not interesting enough. The mermaid seems to think you are, though. She is staring at you delightedly, as though you are the one person in the world she speaks to. The thought makes you tremble, not as much as the mermaid's gaze. You tell the mermaid that you do not think you are so brave, but she dismisses your awkward remark with a laugh. I think you are. I saw the way you scaled those cliffs. I thought that was very heroic. Oh, so she saw that, did she? Then, did she see how you slipped down the cliffs, grazing your palms in the process, and how you very nearly fell? You have never been the most graceful of girls, but to have your failings exposed before being so poised and as perfect as the mermaid, it stings a little bit, more in fact than a resultant grazes on your palms. Your clumsiness wrought you. You tell the mermaid that there was nothing so very heroic about all that. You were simply excited, that is all, to see her again. You weren't thinking. Well, that makes two of us. I was excited to see you again. She was. Naturally, I had a very good time speaking to you last night. I had hoped that we might resume our correspondence. That is why I came to the rocks a bit earlier than usual. I was waiting for you. Did you hear my song? Yes, you reply, with a nod of your head. You heard it all the way in the abandoned cottage. It called out to you. That was the general idea. I was singing for you. She was. You do not think that you were worthy of the mermaid's song, but if she does not mind dedicating her voice to you, then... Well, who else would I dedicate my voice to? There's nobody else to hear me. That is a good point, you suppose. Shyly, you look back at the mermaid. You thank her for her song. It was very beautiful. Then tell her, before you can lose your nerve, that you prepared a present for her, too. Oh, have you really? You have. It is a small thing, nothing more than a silly trinket, but if it would not be too much of an imposition, then... With clumsy fingers, you reach into your pocket. For a few moments, you fret that you're near Collecting myself. For a few moments, you fret that your near fall down the cliff might have damaged a delicate chain nestled within it, but your worries are in vain. The chain is surprisingly sturdy, given it was made with only a few flowers, and has held firm against the odds. You handle the chain with great care all the same. However, as you hold on to it, presenting it for the mermaid's approbation. It was for the mermaid that you fashioned this chain. You thought that it would look nice nestled in her hair. You were pleased with the chain when you first made it, but after looking at the mermaid, you have begun to reconsider. The mermaid's beauty is so otherworldly, so much so it almost hurts to look at her. Your flower crown, by comparison, seems like a very meager offering instead. The longer you hold your gift out, the more unworthy it feels. You have half a mind, as the seconds elapse, to snatch your silly, wholly unworthy gift back from the mermaid before she can judge you too harshly. But the mermaid's lips curve upwards into a smile. and in a voice so full of gratitude it makes your heart throb, she says, "Oh my, did you make this for me?" "Well, yes," you reply, still feeling a little flustered. "You saw these stars earlier when you went for a walk, and they made you think of her. Not," you hasten to add, "that you think of her beauty is comparable to these flowers. They are far inferior when contrasted with her good looks. You simply thought." You are unable to get the rest of the sentence out, however, because the mermaid interrupts you, not rudely, but with something resembling compassion. "Perhaps she pities you. She must be able to hear how your voice is trembling. Can she also see the way your hands tremor? Oh dear. Faint heart never won the hand of a fair maiden, you know. What happened to all of your confidence? I think that your gift is a wonderful one. I did not at all expect it, but it really is pretty." You look at your feet too shyly to meet the mermaid's gaze. Then you say, very quietly, that you're glad that she thinks so, but she does not need to spare your ego. You have precious little of it left as it is. The mermaid seems touched by your shyness. Perhaps she likes her prey to be self-conscious, because she smiles. Perhaps she likes her prey to be self-conscious. Whatever. I am not simply saying things to spare your ego. I am not like that. Humans might spout platitudes as easy as they breathe air, but I do not compliment others unless I truly mean it. Is that not the point of speech? To have an honest dialogue with one another. If one party in a conversation is withholding their true intentions, then conversation is impossible. She is very wise. Playing games is a waste of my time, particularly given my time above the surface is so very limited. Oh. You blush at this, more deeply still, and survey the mermaid beneath the full fringe of your eyelashes. Then, she really does like it. Did I not just say that? You humans are so very funny. What, with all your second guessing? She was like that too in the beginning. She? My friend. The mermaid's answer is a simple one, but it makes your stomach clench regardless. Ah, yes, her friend. How could you have forgotten about her? She used to make me gifts too, you know. Gifts like this one. She would pick flowers on the cliffs over there, where I cannot tread. The mermaid gestures with one hand to the cliffs which tower above the shore, tall and imposing as though to stab the sky above. And she would fashion them into crowns like this one, and bracelets. I was appreciative of her tokens, though she was similarly shy when she first presented them to me. She did not seem to think very much of her handiwork. You and her are remarkably similar, really. There's no guile in the mermaid's voice, but her words have rather taken the wind out of her sails. Of course, the cowherd gave the mermaid gifts. Why would she not? The mermaid is beautiful. She is so very beautiful, like a tutelary goddess. She seems to invite tribute simply by existing. Were you more religious, or more irreligious, maybe? You might even consider worshipping her. Though, in essence, is that not what you were doing with your flower crown? How silly of you, to think that your idea was an original one. I may be accustomed to gifts, but it has been a long time since any humans have bequeathed me with anything. This is a pleasant surprise. I am truly thankful for your kindness, dear one. The mermaid leans forward on her rock so as to pluck the circlet from your fingers. Her benevolent smile all the while is unwavering. And now that I look at your gift more closely, I rather think it is of superior quality to the gifts to my... I rather think it is of superior quality to the gifts my old friend once gave me. Now, this is enough to make you start, if the touch of the mermaid's fingers upon your own was not. Could your silly gift really be better than those she once accepted? I think so. My friend's trinkets were all rather clumsy in execution, though I cherished them nonetheless. They were very precious to me. They did not last for very long, though, not when I took them with me to my home beneath the ocean. The waters soon rend the fragile links between the flowers and stems asunder. Your diadem, however, seems much more sturdy, but it is, by the same token, very delicate. You must be very good with your hands. You think back briefly on your disastrous sewing lessons in the past, of your numerous failed attempts to thread your needle, while the other girls giggled at you, and you blush. You think the mermaid's praise might be a touch too effusive. You tell the mermaid as much, but she only laughs. I do not think so. Now. The mermaid places your floral trinket upon her head, over her long, fair hair, then surveys you in a manner which seems almost coquettish. What do you think? You think the mermaid looks radiant, though that is less because of your gift and more because of her natural looks. You tell the mermaid this, though not in terms quite this glowing, and she giggles. You're selling yourself too short. I think your gift is lovely, really. The flowers rather match my hair. Yes, you answer, with a nod of your head. That is why you picked those flowers. She is all you have been able to think of. I'm glad that you've been thinking of me. I, in truth, have been thinking of you, though I did not wish to say as much. No. It would be embarrassing to confess how much I have been looking forward to our reunion if you do not feel similarly. I do not care to pine for humans from afar. But if you care for me as I do you, then it makes me feel less alone. You hasten to assure the mermaid, your face aflame. Do you ever stop blushing? Goodness gracious. That you do care for her, very much so. You have not known her for very long, but she has certainly made an impression upon you. She is such an easy conversationalist. The time simply slips by when you are together. And it does not hurt, of course, that she is so pretty. I have heard it said, yes, that my looks are rather appealing. My old friend was similarly complimentary. I cannot blame you humans for being so taken with me when my form is so gracious, so graceful. Your legs seem rather cumbersome in comparison to my smooth, sleek tail. It must be very depressing to lumber about on land as you do, living your days beneath the harsh sun and a cool, unfeeling moon. Sometimes I rather think I pity you. But the surface is a good deal brighter than it is beneath the ocean. I will grant you that much. You agree with the mermaid, still feeling flushed that there are some perks to having legs, an agreement which makes the mermaid giggle. I am certain that there are, though you cannot explore the ocean as depth as I can. I presume you have never tried it. You shake your head no. You have never thought to do so, largely because you have never been so close to the sea before, not in all of your life. You do not have the opportunity of nautical exploration in the past. You are not allowed to go anywhere then, save the local church. It was quite a lonely existence. Well now, that is a pity. You are kind enough to give me a gift fashioned from flowers which grow where I cannot reach them, so perhaps I ought to return the favor. The favor? Yes, that is right. It would only seem fitting that I give you something which can only be found in the ocean's depths. Perhaps we could look at it as a form of cultural exchange. Oh no, you protest, your eyes wide. You couldn't possibly put such a burden upon her. You did not give her a gift after all, because you wanted to receive anything in return. Anything other than a friendship, that is. Her conversation is more than enough to satisfy you. You do not need any physical presence on top of that. The mermaid does not seem convinced, however, by your naysaying. She raises one eyebrow, even this gesture is performed elegantly, and says, "If my company is all it takes to satisfy you, then you are easy to please indeed." Shut up! But please do not rebuff me. I am offering because I wish to do this. Remember what I said. I do not say things for the sake of it. Well, you murmur, if she really doesn't mind. Of course I do not mind. Now wait there. It will not be very long. It would be rude to abandon my new friend in the midst of a conversation. The mermaid turns her attention towards the clear, mirror-like water which simmers beneath the moonlight, then dives. Her body arches elegantly through the air, her long, slender limbs cleaving through the surface of the water with nary a ripple. The mermaid's face is first submerged, then her torso, and at long last her tail. The water rushes forth to envelop her, as though it has been waiting for her. It subsumes her. It swallows her. Then she disappears from view. The mermaid is gone, but you are still there. Well, now what are you to do? There's nothing that can be done, you suppose, save for waiting. You stand there for several moments, watching the black water lap against the shore. The breeze howls mournfully like a wounded animal as it buffets your hair about your face and your torn skirt around your legs. Time elapses, but how much of it? While you stand there fretfully, feeling as ostentatious as a maypole. When will the mermaid return? Will she ever return? You're starting to worry. Is that all you do? When? Look, over there. By the rocks upon which the mermaid once sat, the water is rippling. It looks as though your new friend has returned. The mermaid pulls herself onto the rock, using a surprising amount of upper body strength, then smiles at you. I apologize for the wait. I hope I did not make you worry. You were worrying, but you're not half so honest as the mermaid. Mermaids might be spoken of as devious tricksters who lure sailors to their depths, but they are, in actuality, very sincere. They are much more sincere than most humans. Perhaps that is why your kind fears them so. There are few creatures who inhabit this world whose capacity for lying is greater than your own. You tell the mermaid that you are not worrying, and she answers with a weary smile. I'm not so sure about that. Ah, the mermaid is wilier than you were giving her credit for. She has seen straight through you. But no matter. It took me some time, but I was finally able to retrieve you a gift. I do not have the means to turn this into a pretty piece of jewelry, as you did with the flowers, but I wish to give it to you nonetheless. I do hope that you like it. The mermaid leans forward, then holds her gifts out towards you. Her slender fingers unfurl about it, but like the petals of a flower being folded back, and what a pretty gift it is. The ocean might be dark and deep, cold and unfeeling, but the same cannot be said of the object which glitters upon the mermaid's palm. She has fished from the depths of the water a beautiful shell, one which shimmers prismatic colors beneath the moon's light, much like the scales on her tail. The shell is so very pretty. It quite takes your breath away. Noticing a certain theming, with the way that some of the sentences are written, huh? You look at the shell worriedly, your teeth biting your lower lip. That is a bad habit, you know. You will make yourself bleed. Then ask the mermaid if this is really alright. Yes, do not bite your lip. That is a very bad habit. I keep doing it, and that's still a really bad habit. Would a gift like this not be wasted on you? Of course not. I want you to have the shell because it makes me think of you. It does? How so? I thought it should be obvious. The shell is a very lovely find. As are you. Oh. Did she just call you lovely? Surely you must have misheard her. You can scarcely believe it. It is an awful lot for you to take in, but... Now why are you gawping at me like that? The wind will change, you know, and then your face will be stuck like that, which will be quite the shame. You would waste your good looks, which for a maiden such as yourself would be nothing short of a tragedy. Hey! Okay. It seems as though the mermaid really does think you are pretty after all. The mermaid with her smooth skin and her fair hair. You can scarcely believe it. There is something almost laughable about the mermaid's compliments. How could she call you pretty when her looks are so immediately obviously superior? Tongue-tied, you look at your feet. You do not know how to reply to the mermaid. You have half a mind to refute her words, to tell her that you are truly not that pretty. Not really, but you fear that you might look rude. You do not want to rebuff the mermaid's well wishes. There's nothing for it then but to take the shell which the mermaid retrieved from the ocean's depths for you. You do not think that you are worthy of it, but neither do you want to refuse it. Now that is a surprise, the mermaid says, amused as you reach for the shell. I did not think you would be so bold enough to take it, now without more coaxing on my part. You have exceeded my Shut up! Shut up! Your heart flutters with this praise, and it flutters all the more when your trembling fingers brush against the mermaid's palm. She presses the shell into your skin, and your own fingers tighten around it. The shell is sharp and pointed and digs uncomfortably into your skin. It hurts, but there's pleasure in the pain. This too feels like a gift from the mermaid. You do not want to spurn it. Even pain can be a precious thing when dealt by one who you care for. You never knew that before. You hold the shell to your heart, which is beating in a regular rhythm, and you look at the mermaid. Then, very softly, you thank her. It is quite alright. It seems only fair that you shared part of your world with me. I wish to share part of my world with you too. Humans cannot normally descend beneath the water's depths, and even if they do, they cannot remain there for very long. You are far too fragile. Would that I could, I would bring you with me to my underwater kingdom, where we might be together. The mermaid's melodic voice trails away, suffused with something resembling melancholia. She sighs. Then she shakes her head and smiles. But this will have to do for the present. Please take good care of that shell. Look at it from time to time and think of me. That would make me very happy indeed. The days pass following this nightly encounter with your aquatic acquaintance with almost intolerable slowness. You endure the hours of sunlight as best you can by going for long, bracing walks amidst the heather, foraging for berries and fruits among the hedgerows. You even, when you have mustered up enough courage, take an old fishing line uncovered in a fisherman's cottage and try your luck by the shore. Your initial attempts at angling are without success, but as the time passes, your proficiency in the art grows. Sometime after you take your rod, you find you're able to catch the odd fish here and there, small, scrawny things mostly, but the meat goes ways to bolstering your rudimentary diet. You teach yourself how to remove the scales from the saltwater fish that you have captured and how to gut them. You learn, too, how to cook them over a simple fire. Sometimes you skewer these fish of yours on spikes and roast them slowly, inwards and all. You are able to sustain yourself well enough during the day, though the faint pangs of hunger you experience never quite go away. Your physical discomfort, however, is secondary when compared to your desire to visit the mermaid. Your days might be dull and drab, but your nights, comparatively, are made of magic. It is only during the night time that the mermaid emerges from beneath the waves, and when she does, you hurry to her side. You have never before had anybody who took such great an interest in you, not until you met the mermaid. That is why she has grown to mean so very much to you. She is the first friend you have ever had, but if you do not temper your obsession accordingly, I fear she may very well be your last. You care little for the potential danger, however, which lurks beneath your interactions with the mermaid. You want only to show the mermaid how much you value her, and you hope within time she will come to value you too. If you keep seeing her, surely she will stop thinking of her human friend whom she lost so suddenly. That's your plan, at least. Fortunately, your self-serving wish to grow closer to the mermaid seems close to being granted. Water break. I don't like how so far for all three of these routes, I've been horrifically swayed as powerfully as I have been. Your nightly conversations when you greet her come easily enough, the words tumbling from your mouth like thread. You have grown rather comfortable in the mermaid's company, and she yours. You must have, for as it is not long after you bequeathed your diadem of flowers to the mermaid that she looks at you, then posits a curious question. I was wondering, dear one, would you mind indulging me? I know this might not seem like an appealing proposition, but I thought it would be remiss of me not to ask. I have seen some of your world, for I have sat on the shore for many, many nights hence, but we have seen nothing of mine. It seems unfair that I should know some of your world that you inhabit, while you know so little of my own. So would you care to come with me beneath the ocean's waves? There's much I wish to show you, sights that cannot, I fear, be accurately represented in language alone. Words can be awfully stifling when it comes to communication of experiences such as this. It is quite the florid speech, but at the heart of it beats a simple enough request. The mermaid wishes to bring you beneath the ocean's surface so that you might show you her home. You are flattered initially that the mermaid wishes to show you something so personal, but after this flutter of flattery there comes an uncomfortable sense of unease. The mermaid might feel at home beneath the water's surface, but what of you? You are a human girl with two awkward, ungainly legs, and you were not made to live under the sea. You frown, and mistrustfully you look at the ocean. It is late at night, as it always is when you speak to the mermaid, and the water does not look blue. It appears instead to be obsidian. The waves moan as they break against the rocks, which jut out of the shore like a mighty dragon's bones. They sound angry, violent almost. Salty sea sprays arc through the air. Caught in the moonlight, it shimmers, sharp as knives. Hesitantly, you take a step back. You are a little afraid of the sea. It is so restless, so deep, and so all-consuming. It reminds you of a hungry monster. You have never submerged yourself beneath the ocean before. You never had the opportunity. You do not even know how to swim. You are fearful for your own safety should you contest to dive beneath the undulating menses of the water, but do not look so frightened, dear one. I will be with you, and I will not let you go. You have my word. Shyly, you glance at the mermaid. She is still perched upon her rock, her hands folded neatly upon her. Well, she does not have a lap. Not really. You are still afraid, but the mermaid's reassurance does help. Has she not told you numerous times that she is nothing if not honest? You trust her not to break her word. She will not leave you beneath the waves, abandoning you to a cruel, lonely fate to become the food of so many fish. Of that you are certain. That is why, despite all of your misgivings, you find yourself nodding your head. If that is what she wants, then you will accompany her. You are interested, too, in what lies beneath the ocean's surface out of sight. Oh, I knew that you would agree. Thank you very much for humoring me. I will endeavor to make these next few moments the most memorable you have ever experienced. Now, would you care to come with me? I shall be your guide. The ocean steps might be dark, but I will not let you get away from me. I promise. The mermaid extends her hands towards you, a hand which seems to cut through the moonlight just like a blade. The moon's celestial rays play against the mermaid's upturned palm so that it shimmers. The mermaid's hair, too, is glowing, backlit by Celine's glow, so that she almost looks like an angel. Her beauty is such that, for a few moments, you cannot do anything, neither step towards her nor back away. You feel frozen in place, rooted in the sand like some shore-growing tree. You still do not understand why the mermaid has taken such an interest in you, but an old adage does occur to you. You ought not to look a gift horse in the mouth, or ignore the pleas of a graceful, dignified mermaid. You reach out, your arms shaking like a tiny bow of an ancient tree, and find the mermaid's hand with your own. The mermaid's fingers curl about your own, her nails, only now you notice how sharp they are, digging into your skin. Though the mermaid herself looks very soft, her grip is surprisingly strong. You do not think, if she willed it, you would be able to get away from her. But why would you want to? She does not mean you any harm. Now, let us be on our way. There is much to see in my underwater kingdom. I cannot wait to show it to you. mermaid turns towards the ocean, as do you. A brief moment passes, wondering would you allow yourself to stand there, your hand claimed by the mermaids as the wind buffets your hair and your skirts. You inhale deeply. The smell of the salt is heavy in the back of your nostrils, so much so you could choke on it. It is not particularly pleasant smell, but you have grown accustomed to it after living in your tumble-down cottage by the shore. It is nostalgic almost. You have a vague feeling as you stand on the precipice between your world and that of your aquatic companions that you might never again be able to smell the salt in the air like this. That is just a silly supposition, though. You are being foolish. The mermaid will return you back to the surface in due course, will she not? You hope that she will. You, unlike her, cannot breathe underwater. You open your mouth, meaning to ask the mermaid about this fact, but you're not afforded the opportunity to speak. The mermaid has already shifted, her fingers still twined about yours. She dives forward, her body slicing through the surface of the water like a knife, and you, inexorably, are dragged along with her. The water rushes forward to meet you in a sudden shocking rush. The mermaid's descent might be graceful, but yours is anything but. You do not know how to position your legs, and your limbs feel awfully ungainly. The shock of the water as it touches your skin, meanwhile, is intense. You did not think that the water would be this cold. No, it's not just cold, it is freezing. It feels as though all the warmth has been sapped out of your skin. If your head was not already beneath the water's waves, you would gasp from it. You do not gasp, however. You cannot. You have already been submerged. Your body no longer feels as though it is your own. Your hair is unspooling behind you like a thread, and your skirt is fluttering. Your body rocks to and fro as though being soothed in a mother's arms. It is a curious feeling, but it is not wholly unpleasant. If only it were not so cold down here beneath the ocean steps, you might find it relaxing. It is dark under the surface of the water, yes, but you have not ventured so very far, not yet at least, that the glow of the moon cannot penetrate its depths. Your surroundings are illuminated, though faintly, and thanks to this precious illumination, you can see the schools of fish swimming about you. Their scales are glistening as they arc through the waves like rainbows. They do not look like life forms. They appear instead to your fairy tale-addled mind to be ancient relics brought to life through some strange arcane sorcery. They are pretty. No, the word is not significant enough. They are beautiful. You do not know, as you stood upon the shore, how very full of life it was beneath the water's surface. You did not know, either, how very beautiful these aquatic denizens of the deep were. You have never seen fish like these before, not in real life. You have memories, vague, hazy memories of dissecting a fish once at a particularly gruesome biology lesson. But that feels like a very long time ago now. You would far rather think of your present than dwell upon the past. But the seconds pass, and as they do, the mermaid continues to swim, leading you deeper and deeper into the ocean's depths. While once you were close enough to the surface that the moon's light could still slice the waves, now it is very dark, you can scarcely see. Your vision is beginning to blur. You can feel an uncomfortable pressure weighing down on your inner body. You have descended, you realize, with a ripple of anxiety, too deep. Humans were not meant to descend to these depths. The water, once cold, now feels freezing. It caresses every inch of your exposed flesh, as if to sap what little warmth you might still possess. You shiver, and when you do, you swear that you can hear your teeth chattering, despite the water which stops your ears. The water is stopping up your nose. There is so much water down here, at the bottom of the ocean. It is endless. The mermaid might be able to breathe underwater, but you are not so very fortunate unfortunate. Your body is far less sophisticated than hers, and it requires oxygen with which to furnish your body with continued strength, not salt water. The thought of trying to inhale the endless water which surrounds you makes you shudder. You would rather not attempt it. You do not have gills. When will the mermaid take you back to the surface? Surely she must know that you have fast begun to near your limit. You have been under the water for too long, and it is too cold, and it is so dark now. In any event, you cannot see much of anything. The joy you once felt during your underwater adventure has begun to dissipate, just like the loss of the oxygen you still possess. It is time to return to the surface now, but how are you going to communicate this to the mermaid? You cannot speak, and she is not looking at you. She is staring instead fixedly at something beyond your comprehension, something far away, perhaps in the underwater gloom that you cannot see. Not knowing what else to do, you try to pull your arm free from the mermaid's grasp. You hope that this will signal her that she has grown too carried away in her endeavors, that she had to cut short of your expedition and return you to the shore. The mermaid does not react, however, to your attempts to escape her. Her grip does not slacken as she had hoped from about your wrist. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It feels as though she is gripping you more tightly than she was, as if to prevent your escape. Why would she do that? You tap on the mermaid's shoulder to get her attention, a gesture which prompts her at long last to turn. Her fair hair billows about her, suspended in water like a shroud. Then she says in a calm, measured, incredibly reasonable voice of hers, "Yes, dear one, what is it?" If you could, you would open your mouth to reply to her, but alas, you are a human girl, not a fish, and you cannot speak underwater. Any attempt to do so would accomplish naught save filling your pretty little mouth with water. The mermaid really ought to have considered that before she started to ask you questions. But your comfort seems to be the last thing on the mermaid's mind. She smiles at you gently, delicately, then says, "I understand. Being underwater for so long must be beginning to take its toll. Do your lungs feel like iron? Are they heavy?" So she does understand your woes. You might not be able to speak, suspended as you are in the dark, murky depths, but communication is not wholly impossible. You nod your head emphatically, hoping that it will be enough to make your distress apparent, but yes, that will happen. It is a natural part, so I have heard, of drowning. Not that I have ever had the opportunity to experience it for myself. I am incapable, you see, of meeting my demise in such a manner. Now, what was that? What could she mean? The mermaid says she can read minds, that this was a calculated act upon my part. Forgive me, dear one, but the moment you consented to sinking beneath the water with me, your fate was sealed. Your lungs will be flooded with water soon enough. Then you will die. It's not a pretty way to go. You needn't worry about your corpse bloating, disfiguring, or being eaten by fish, though. I will take very good care of it, I promise. In death you will look lovely, almost angelic. Is that not what you also wanted? You do not know what the mermaid thinks it is exactly that you want, though you think she is laboring under some severe misunderstanding. You would like to try and correct her. You do not want to die, but of course you cannot open your mouth. What a pity. Well, at least it saves me the effort of transcribing your dying pleas. I doubt they would be particularly interesting. If you want to know why I'm doing this, then I would not mind obligating. I have no secrets to keep from you. Other than the secret, perhaps, that upon your first meeting, she nursed within her cold fish heart the desire to bring about your watery murder. You might have liked to know that before you agreed to sink beneath the water's surface with her. I am only doing this because I have no choice. The other girl I liked, after all, the one who I adored, disappeared. She went away, and I was never again afforded the opportunity to see her. You remind me of that girl, though you do not look much alike. You do not act very much alike either. But you are both human who, despite your delicacies, have no shortage of determination. How your kind is able to live when your lifespans are so very short, and you are susceptible to so many, and you are susceptible to so very many diseases is a mystery to me. Though my lifespan far eclipses your own, I am far sturdier. I cannot help but marvel at the tenacity of you humans. I know that if I were as fragile as you are, I would not be able to exist in this world. I would be far too afraid. I would see my own death lurking behind every corner, just as you can see your own death looming before you. It is not so very far away now. You can feel it coming closer and closer, enclosing its cold, icy fingers around your throat. You humans are incredible. I cannot help but respect you, weak and pitiful though you are. She respects your tenacity so very much, she wishes to extinguish it. That does not make very much sense. Perhaps my words are confusing you, but it makes perfect sense to me at least. My beloved cowherd left me. I do not know where she went or what happened to her. Perhaps she was murdered by bandits. Perhaps she contracted a horrible disease. Perhaps she simply fell and cracked her skull. I do not know. I will not know. For many, many days and many, many nights, her disappearance tormented me. I cannot help but wonder how it came about, but there were so many possibilities I could not imagine all of them. This thought terrifies me. It still does. That is why I'm going to take you to my underwater kingdom with me. There, we can be together forever. Nothing will be able to tear us apart then. I will brush your hair, and I will dress you in the finest pearls found from the bottom of the seabed. It will be lovely, much, much lovelier than any sort of miserable existence you might be able to eke out above the water. In my citadel, you will never be attacked by bandits, nor ravaged by diseases. You will be quite safe, I promise. Quite safe, yes, and quite dead too, surely. Well, yes. That is the only unfortunate aspect of my plan. She considers your death nothing more than a mere misfortune. The mermaid might be surprisingly cold after all. Or perhaps you ought to have predicted this. She is part fish. Are fish not cold-blooded like lizards? You probably learned this at some point during biology class, but your lessons are beginning to feel very faint and far away now. Your body is beginning to fail you. You cannot take much more of this. It isn't necessary sacrifice, though. If we are to be happy, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this, for both our sakes. I do apologize for tricking you, but please try to understand. I really have been lonely. You would be more inclined to sympathize with her, perhaps, if her loneliness was not ushering you in your inevitable demise. But you are too preoccupied with your dwindling reserves of oxygen to feel much in the way of anything for your captor. You can feel the pressure of the water against your eyes. They are beginning to ache. Perhaps you are crying. You do not know. The water masks much of your anguish. You have been drifting underwater for almost 3 minutes. That is a remarkably long time to go without any air. Your vision is beginning to cloud. Your surroundings already darker, still, unpleasant and obscure, and not at all like the paradise the mermaid promised you. The pain of being suffocated slowly is far stronger and far more oppressive than the sensation of the mermaid's hand wound tightly around your arm. Is there no escape for you? The prognosis, I am sorry to say, is grim. Your fate, as the mermaid said, really was sealed the moment you met her, luxuriating on those rocks beneath the moonlight. But you'll forgive me if my sympathy is limited. You did bring this upon yourself, you know. You reap what you sow, and in your case, you made a series of bad decisions which led to your untimely demise. Now, what do you want to do? Will you accept this fate of yours and rest in peace, or will you try to fight against it? I like that look on your face. It is a look full of determination, the self-same determination which first prompted me to take an interest in you. I can tell you are not happy with this ending. You did not come all this way, after all, to drown. That is quite the indecorous demise, regardless of how many fine stones and shells the mermaid means to twine through your hair after your death. If you wish to carve out a new story for yourself, then I would be only too happy to indulge you. Just try not to get on the bad side. Oh, good side of any homicidal naiads? The drowning affair made into something of a cliche. Your fate is once again in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take?
Huh. So there is still only one more route. Huh. So that was the mermaid. So there's still only one more route, and I think the way... Let me just take a very brief guess. Okay. So if it is these three routes... So if it's in the way that I think it is, I want to set this up for next time. I really, really, really liked her. I didn't know it had a unique thing. Wait, why did that notification go off, but not for the normal follows? One, thank you, Chico Bambino, for the follow. Two, don't know why it didn't do the notification for the follow. Three, I guess that was an automatic follower goal that was hit. That counts as a Christmas gift, I guess. So thank you. Thank you. I'm going to assume that getting through all of them and resisting, going through each one and then resisting at the end, which causes you to go back.
Impressive how varied a fight you can be, even in a situation as comforting as this. Now try not to cry, keep your chin up. This is but a minor setback in your story. Like all fair maidens, you are deserving of your own happy ending. You need only the strength to try and seek it out. Why don't we give this another go? Just try not to ensnare the hearts of any more monarchs, particularly those with unusual appetites. You are destined for far higher purposes than being an entree, and there are vastly more enjoyable ways to be eaten in this world. Shut up! You didn't see anything, officer. Village is the one that I did before. So, Village is the one that I did on my own route. And this game is free anyway. So, I will say if you want to read this one, I really did like this one. I say, hey, you should probably check the game out. Admittedly, saying that I really like the one where it's buried alive probably isn't really great. But if I were to say that, wow, that's actually really hard. Well, first let me check the thing to make sure that I'm right. You're not happy with the hand the fate has dealt you. Very well, I cannot blame you. It's quite a grim ending. I would not wish upon my worst enemy, and you're rather dearer to me than that. Now, why don't we give this another go? Just try not to be buried alive this time. I can only endure so much for screaming. Your fate is once again in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? I was right. So, I'm going to save this here. I'll save this here, and I'll save that for my last stream. But if I were to say, this one's actually like really hard to kind of like choose. Bias, number 1. Very, very present bias in my number 1. But if I had to choose between the mermaid or the groundskeeper, I'd say I like the groundskeeper more, mostly because hers was slightly more surprising to me. The groundskeeper being the one that I didn't do on stream. That was the first one that I did, and after doing that route was the one where I was like, okay, I want to do the rest of these like on stream. Groundskeeper probably surprised me more. I really ended up liking the groundskeeper a lot. She's my number 2. Mermaid is number 3. And part of that might also be from the fact that I have a very, very, very big phobia of drowning. So that one I kind of like expected. And the mermaid kind of took me the longest to kind of warm up to. But I really still like her. It's really hard to like rank these 3. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. Groundskeeper I really liked. One of the ending texts also still has very much kind of stuck with me after a long time. I'm so...
gay. That's all I can say. No, I don't even have any. No, I have nothing witty to say to that. No, nothing witty to add. No. So that means that the next time that I'm doing this, will be this one. Whoever is the one that I was originally running from. She will be the last route. And I'm actually very curious because I don't think I've seen anything about her. I don't even know if I want that to be like for a short thing or its own thing. I probably will just make it its own thing and then figure out what to do from there. But yeah, that was fun. Awaria was really fun, and getting through this route was also really fun. So yeah, I will say that with that, thank you for everyone who tuned in. Thank you for everyone who followed. Yay on hitting a follower goal, I guess. I really neglected strikers this week, huh? I neglected strikers last week too. Damn. There's no way I could finish that before the end of the year now. I might not be able to finish it before the end of the year, but I think the next dungeon is legitimately my favorite thing in that game so far. So I can at least try to do that before the end of the year. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, because now I really want to finish this game, now that I'm so close to the end. So yeah, thank you for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. There is a link to my Discord and my Blue Sky down below. And yeah. No, I don't know. Have a very gay holiday. Hopefully it doesn't end in murderous Yuri, but maybe sometimes that's what some people want. Some people, not implying myself, but also maybe myself. Good night. And like and subscribe, whatever that thing is, because apparently it has to work on YouTube. I don't get it. I hate saying it. It makes my skin crawl every time, but like and subscribe, I guess.